If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
To the squeeze packet of Daisy sour cream than there is in the tubs. Because that's what we used to use originally. We'd scoop that into the squeeze bottle, into a squeeze bottle, and use it that way.
Just more expensive.
Yeah, but it's less headache.
I mean, I get that.
It's less headache, less mess, less time to refill a squeeze bottle because we can just squeeze from one bottle to the next. You know?
So I did figure out a couple things when it comes to cooking. So my smoker's basically on the other side of our building. My thought was,
taco comments.
Yes.
Bubba says dry ass brisket tacos. LOL.
Bernie. Definitely wasn't dry ass brisket tacos either.
Bernie said lime sriracha and sour cream mix. Thins it and delicious. You're welcome.
Thought about that.
Not too much sriracha. People don't want too much heat. So
yes. Yeah, like I said, we're going to do. I was trying to find an actual sauce that somebody made that I could just use it for the time being, but I couldn't really find anything. Like I was thinking about like an avocado crema or something that had a little extra flavor to it, but I think it does need maybe a smidge of heat to it. So probably like a chipotle lime, something like that.
Nick, I need to reach out to you later about your TikTok lives.
Oh, is that Lodato?
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
I have access now.
Yeah, that's what you said last week.
So I don't fucking know.
You should just be doing. You should have been doing that while you're putting your floor down. We could have been laughing like crazy.
I went live the other night.
Oh, it didn't pop.
I didn't have it. I didn't have it when we did the floor because that was before the ban. I only got it since they lifted the ban. So
good.
Whatever got screwed up in the process. All I know is my For You page is all messed up.
I've seen a lot of
I'm not seeing some of my favorite people anymore, but I have new people. I have a lady that does only potato cooking. And this fat boy is going to get fatter.
Only potatoes?
It's only potato recipes. And they look delicious.
Have you heard the jingle Cooking with Kaya yet?
That has not come across my For You page other than the reaction videos of wives asking their husbands. That's the only I've heard.
That is the only thing that's ever come across. Her videos have never come across, but it's reacting to. Basically, she's a girl that's cooking with Kaya, and then she turns around and shakes her bum, and then starts cooking.
Oh no!
That's all it is.
There's Olivia is one of my favorites.
Ooh,
yeah. Chef Reactions is one of my favorites. Yes. Olivia's good. She usually gives the middle finger in all of her videos. And then there's the other girl who is only pans.
Yes,
is her. Yeah, she's really good too. Yeah. Other than that, I typically don't watch like demo videos because I know I'm never going to cook them, and there's no recipes. No. So the list of ingredients, it doesn't mean no good.
We
sorry.
No,
keep distracting you.
Yeah, very. That's fine. I told Josh all the time. Even though Bert's an HD. So when I worked with Bubba at Lockhart's restaurant in Royal Oak, we utilized like bus tubs and big stacking tubs, and we just take a cart out to the smoker. You did everything, whatever. I never really thought about that because it's always been on my truck, so I never had to worry about it. But being that the building or the smoker is on the opposite side of where my kitchen is, I'm trying to figure out a better way to do things. And so I got bus tubs with lids, and I don't know where these things have been all my life. I used to use them all the time, and it's like so much easier to like pop 20 pounds of wings in there, throw some rub in there, and just, turn them. Versus, a full pan that's going to, break by the second flip or bend by the second flip. No, so we actually, and if I just use a bus tub, if I don't have a lot to carry, then I can actually go straight through their back door and it's right out to my smoker versus taking the cart all the way around the front. So it actually works out pretty good that I don't have to do that the whole time. So we get to Saturday, and like I said, Saturday we were pretty busy the whole day. What I can appreciate now that I haven't appreciated yet, or maybe didn't have an opportunity to, is I don't need to be I'm not going to say the center of attention, but I don't need to be all up in everybody's business as far as watching them make food, watching them, take orders. I was really standing in the back, just kind of doing what everybody asked me to. Like if they needed ribs cut, I was cutting ribs. Because we still do cut ribs to order. If they need sausage cut, I cut that. We didn't sell a lot of sausages, which kind of pissed me off. But other than that, what Saturday went. Other than, does Chris have a good memory, or whoever's taking your payments, orders, whatever? They have a good memory.
Yeah.
So if they ask for somebody's name, so Bob, and let's say you got 10 people out there. Well, if he calls Bob, will he know who Bob is?
Yeah, most times, yes.
Okay, right? And I think the same thing. One of my girls has a very hard time remembering things. So she'll get a person's name and then forget everything about it. So when the order's up, like we had this thing, right? So she called for Joey. Not a huge amount of Joeys in our little town area. And one guy raised his hand and the other guy was standing there. So she gave it to some guy who raised his hand, and then the next order gave it to the actual Joey, and Joey had to come back because he didn't have his food or he didn't have what he ordered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you not, like, I don't know.
I'm terrible with names. So for me, I can associate an order with a face more quickly than I can a name to a face.
Okay. Yeah. I get that too, for sure. I can do that. Yeah.
Nick has switched to numbers.
So that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to end up doing.
I think that's best for inside stuff, like when you're calling out. We've even had it, like larger events, like our food truck Fridays and stuff, where we will get 3 Bobs in 6 people type of thing. Yeah. And when you have 15 tickets on your rail, you gotta. It's hard sometimes.
So would you? And I can understand numbers, like, because in the food truck you can give them a printout of the number, right? That's their because the way Square does it, it'll print out the order ticket and then print out the number right after that. You give the number to the customer. And the order tickets has the number on it as well because it will generate those numbers.
Yep.
My receipt printer, my order printer is in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to get them?
Get a second printer.
Okay.
And then you can separate so that just the number prints at your register and the order ticket, the grill ticket prints in the kitchen. Well,
I'm wondering if it's, so I bought a tablet to do a KDS. Mm-hmm. I download the app and I got the KDS all set up, but we just didn't use it. I wonder if I can keep the printer down there and just operate with the KDS.
But then how are you going to know? So there's an order up and done. How are you going to know what number order that is? So they should be able to slide the ticket with that order so you know.
Well, okay. So I have access to another printer. That can be Ethernet because that can plug into the register. It doesn't need to be. Yeah. Okay. We can work with that.
Yeah. I would say the easiest way to make sure that you are there is to get 2 printers.
Yeah, I will.
And that way you're not banking everything on verbal communication.
Yep.
And somebody mishearing something or misspeaking or mishearing or whatever.
Well, I sent my wife to the Dollar General to get a stapler. We just started stapling receipts to the bags.
We started doing that with our online orders. So we'd finish them and staple the receipt and have them stacked. Justin said that he posted his sandwich making sheets. He posted them to our Facebook page today.
Oh,
So he just did it. He said so. They should be there if anybody would like to see how he did his. He said he did them in Word. So
yes, I did mine in Word as well. Easy peasy. That was really the only thing that we had an issue with, was just that part. I changed. So on the food truck, I have the price. Yeah, no. I had the price of whatever they're buying be rounded to like the nearest quarter. We now did tax was included. Now tax is excluded. So my girls actually had to do some math, or at least read how to give change out. Sorry, you'll all hear dogs barking.
you said taxes included now?
They were included. They're not anymore.
Oh, okay. So now everything is plus tax. Okay.
So we had top sellers.
Can I get to Bernie's comment real quick?
Oh, sure, please.
I'm trying to get to them as they're coming through, because as you're changing topics, I think people are commenting on. I don't want to get too far removed from it.
Sure.
Excuse me. Jason, Bernie's Blue Line Barbecue. The order taker could put a note in the order. Example could be Bob, blue shirt, Tim, red hat. Takes an extra 10 seconds. Whoever calls the order just calls the name and does not call the note. Yes,
Sure.
as long as you do that in the note and not on the name. Because when we first started out with our full customer-facing payment screen, Chris didn't realize that whatever you type in the name shows up on that little screen. So instead of asking for a name for some people, he would just put old.
Oh, boy.
As in old person.
Yes.
I think that was the most offensive thing. I don't think he ever went to like fat or smelly or anything like that. But yeah. Uh-huh. It was when somebody said, "Oh, you didn't spell my name right," that it all kind of hit for him. That, oh, you can see that.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. Notes work great. We do notes all the time for when we're running tabs for things, because we put their name in a note on an item. So maybe that's a possibility too. Some sort of descriptor.
It says on our notes though, so I started using the square for restaurants versus square retail. So I started using that for the cafe. And I'm still trying to understand it, but like when you hit something, it pops up and it goes through each menu item, or not each menu item, but each like thing that you can do. So like you can make it a meal, and then the next one is like choose your sides if you did that, and the next one is X, like subtractions and additions, and then notes.
I'll be right back.
The notes say to that don't put anything you don't want the customer to see, because it actually will put what the customer sees. Anyway, so we're open for 7 hours, Saturday, 11 to 7. We did 70 orders. So basically like 10 orders an hour, which I'm overly happy with. I think the amount of support the local community showed us. And for people who don't know, Brooklyn, Michigan has a 2023 population of like 1,900 people. We had people come from Ypsilanti, which is 40 minutes away. They were actually our first phone order. That's the other thing. Josh, do you do phone orders? No. Okay. So here's one problem we had with the phone order. One problem.
No, because I don't like taking orders and taking things. So let's say it's our last rack of ribs. Someone calls in and said, "Yep, I'd like that rack of ribs. I'll be there in an hour." Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no payment on it.
Yeah,
there's no guarantee that they're going to show up.
Yeah.
So I don't like phone orders. I much prefer online orders, because then it's paid. And I have easier communication with them.
So if that's the case, if I turn on my online ordering system, which I will hopefully this week, should I then direct everybody, instead of calling to place an order, to just go online?
I mean, it's up to you. If you don't mind the call-in, Like, I'm not saying we would never do phone orders. And we have, somebody said, I'm on my way. Can I put in an order real quick? So it's ready to go.
So
Like we've accepted orders via Facebook Messenger before,
Yeah,
but these are customers we know,
yeah, me too.
right? So yeah, I'm not saying we wouldn't do it if we had a brick and mortar. We might process the payment over the phone like they do with pizza, though.
Yeah, I think that might be the way we go.
Just to make sure everything's, because I mean, with us, things sell out. So you get to the point where you have this order, and you could have sold that rack of ribs 4 times over potentially, or whatever.
Exactly.
And that's just me going worst case scenario on everything we do.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
because it's happened once in 7 years, so it's going to happen every time.
We didn't have an external struggle; we had an internal struggle with this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, one of my girls, she works at so she has a 9-to-5 job as a accounts payable, right? So she doesn't deal with a lot of humans; deals with a lot of computers. So of course, I chose to have her up front because she does have a good personality. She knows how to talk to people, knows the menu, everything's good. But the multitasking. So like if the phone is ringing, I think it's hard for it was hard for her to pick it up and say, PB&J's barbecue, can you please hold? And then just like put it on mute or something. So she looked at me and she's like, hey, the phone's ringing, and gave it to me. I'm like, okay. So I did that. I pushed it on mute, and here it is. Mm-hmm. So we got to work on that to figure out if it's worth it. The other problem is the coffee shop was open. They decided to stay open, even though they said they weren't going to. Mainly because one of their employees told them how busy it was. So they're like, okay, let's just do it.
Yeah.
They have a drive-through. A lot of people are expecting us to utilize that drive-through. And I'm like we can't do that. Like they can't, right. We could do it for pickup orders. Maybe somebody would have to walk through the other side of the building to do it, but it's possible. We only had 1 or 2 people ask about it, so I know it's not huge yet. I thought plates, because we did combo plates.
Mm-hmm.
I still thought our sandwiches would sell better. Our plates just dominated the sales, combo plates. I was very surprised at that. I don't know. I just kind of was.
When you go to a barbecue place, that's more than likely what you're going to order, right? Because you can get a little bit of everything, and especially on a first visit. It's a good way to try everything and see what you like, and then eventually you start working your way into sandwiches. Yeah, so that's your biggest thing is the brick and mortar is not a food truck.
It's not. So we sold 16 racks of ribs. That was huge, I thought.
It's a whole different mindset of customers coming in. It's not a what can I eat quick, easy, potentially in my car versus, there's a place here that's a more relaxed setting that I can sit down and eat, and I can have this tray of food that I can work my way through. So I'm sorry, 16 racks of ribs on just Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
We saw I think of everything that's on our menu, with the exception of the one family bundle, which we have, we sold one of everything. So I thought that's kind of neat. It means people were actually trying stuff.
Yep.
We went through two trays of cornbread. Went through.
Did you plan on more than one tray each day?
I plan on no, I actually plan on one tray Friday because I wasn't expecting a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday I expected one full tray.
Okay.
And we went through 2. So it was I think we went through 1.5 Saturday.
Okay.
But every sandwich was ordered, even the new. I don't think we sold one of the Caesar ones that we're doing, but pretty much everything else was sold. And then even the competition platter, which has all the meats and 2 sides, sold one of those. And I really would love to know, and I think this is going to come back and bite me if we do ever really get super busy, is how to input an ingredient and have inventory keep track of that ingredient. Like brisket, we've used brisket, 8 different ways.
You can do it. It requires a whole lot of front end work every day because you're going to have to go in. So you have your ingredient list, right? Which is a quarter pound of brisket.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to do it by pounds. And then you're going to have to go through and but you don't pre-chop and pre-cut. So it's much harder to do.
We pre-chop brisket.
So you have different brisket for slicing and chopping?
We're not doing sliced.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was just a question for me. You aren't, because you're not doing it. Okay. So yeah, you'll have to weigh all your pork, get your weight,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out how many servings are in each of those. And then after you have all your ingredient list built and your recipes built, then you can start tracking the inventory better.
But then you have to go into each sandwich.
Every day. No.
Oh.
You just have to, you have to do that once.
Okay.
You go into each sandwich and put in what is the recipe. It includes a quarter pound of pork or quarter pound of brisket, right?
You can do that?
But at the beginning, huh?
You can do that in Square?
Pretty sure, yeah. When you build your ingredient list and then track that ingredient, yeah.
Okay.
So
it might work.
But then you have to go in and put how many servings you have every day. Like you have to update your inventory every morning.
Okay. I found it. You got to put it. It's under units. Units are used to specify how you want to measure your items. So, like, I have a pound.
Right, but then you can build ingredient lists under each sandwich, though, to include a quarter pound of pork. I'm almost 100% positive. I went through this whole inventory tracking thing when it first came out and got myself into a rabbit hole. Nick says in Square, if you mark items in modifiers, it will mark all items with those modifiers now sold out.
Yes, I've seen that for sure.
Yeah.
My thing is I have to make sure whoever I'm talking to or whoever's in the kitchen, if I'm out front, keeps that, knows about the inventory system, like how to really tell, okay, we have 1 rack of ribs left. We've got, maybe 4 orders of brisket left, that kind of thing. So
typically when we have our online orders running, which is our biggest concern, is selling food that we don't have. And if Square could add this feature, I'd be ecstatic. If they could have us approve the order before it's paid for. So if someone puts in an order online, it comes to us to accept the order, and then it sends it back for them to pay. Because right now, we don't see the order until it's paid for.
Okay.
So if we miss marking something like ribs, okay, so they're doing an online order. We sell the last of the ribs while they're doing their order before we mark them sold out.
Mm-hmm.
They pay it. It comes to us, and now we have a paid item that we don't have anymore. So now we have to get a hold of them, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, and tell them that we don't have ribs anymore because they were sold out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if they said, okay, I'm putting in this order, they hit checkout, it comes to us on the registers because we get a little pop-up that says there's a new order. If we could hit accept before they pay, that would be great.
So I'm in the item. So a chicken sandwich, right? So I'm in the item. The only thing that I'm seeing that makes sense is under options. It says add options such as portion size or flavor to create variations.
So you can't. You have to do it before that. So there's a whole other section in Square. You have to set up other stuff before you can do it in the individual items.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bubba says it's called communication. You're overthinking it. Yeah,
it is.
Typically, when we get down to like a rack of ribs left, or we're down to 1.5 pounds of brisket or whatever, we'll start marking things as sold out on the online system. But we're pretty well in tune for, you know, okay, we have this many brisket items left. We have this many pork items left, type of thing.
Yeah.
We're pretty well versed in being able to communicate that. But I mean, it still happens, especially when you're super busy, when you got 15 tickets. And this is where the 90% of our frustration as a staff comes in, is that when we're 15 tickets deep and I say, okay, we're on the last or we're on a half pan of pork left. And then Chris starts taking another order. He's like, do we have enough for this? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on. Let me stop and count up all the things we have on the rail. Figure out our portions here.
So I can tell you that when you talk about portions, I can tell you that since I wasn't making the food, I was making sure that everybody.
Thanks for the likes, Nick.
Thanks for the likes, Nick. That the girl that was making the food was using portion spoons, green handle, black handle, whatever, and it made a huge difference in what we went through based off sales and what we had left over.
Instead of the claw method,
handful, yeah. In all honesty, when I was done, I was kind of floored. So I cooked for both days, right? And I had a catering, so keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I cooked basically a case of brisket and a case of butts. Okay, I split them up. So, and in the catering, I had 3 butts that I had to keep aside.
Okay, so you had 5 butts for 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. So on Friday, we didn't go through a lot of pork at all. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 orders. So we still had, I guess, plenty left over.
Okay, what did you do for sales on Friday, if you don't mind sharing?
17 for 5 something. It's like $32 average, I think, $31 average.
17 orders. Okay, so $500 and something dollars.
I believe so. I got it right here.
You were saying all kinds of numbers without any context in any of them.
Failed.
Just so I'm just curious, you know, because generally we have we've been doing it long enough now that if we sell out, I kind of know the amount of food we had on board, type of thing, based off the sales number.
17 orders, $555.
Okay. So yeah, for us, it's if 2 pork butts and a brisket equals $1,000 in sales on average.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that.
Okay.
Because on Friday, I mean, we had 70 for 24, and when I was done, I had 3 pork butts left over.
So you were super brisket heavy both days.
We ran out of brisket by the end of the night. Yeah, so we were very brisket heavy. But, not a lot of pork.
Well, hold on a second.
And I know, Bubba, as you were saying, the communication. Yes, I completely understand communication.
Sorry, I thought someone was dying. My phone was blowing up. All right.
My furnace guy. I have to run and get parts. That's not good.
Well, better that he's getting parts now than after he's here, right? After he's there?
But he was already here.
Oh.
That's why the dogs barked. No, we were very, very, very brisket heavy in item sales on just Friday itself. Brisket tacos were actually the number 1 seller at like 7 plates. We sold 1.5 pounds of brisket by itself, a couple mac with briskets, and I think even the 1 meat and 2 meat platters. All of them had brisket in them.
Yeah, just wait till you get to some of those days where, for whatever reason, you sell all kinds of meat by the pound. And you sell out, and you're like, all right, let's take a look at these sales numbers. And it's lower than you thought it was going to be. because those meat by the pound heavy days actually equate to less sales.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, even if you're doing, what are you, 28, 29 bucks a pound for brisket?
Yeah.
But 4 sandwiches at a quarter a pound is $50.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh no, that's why I'm.
Well, it makes it.
Food truck. I refuse to do meat by the pound because you lose money technically.
You're not losing money. You're just not making as much.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're losing more as if you only did sandwiches.
Well, then why don't you only carry 3 items and just do your highest profit items?
Well, in looking through barbecue menus,
a short friend in barbecue once told me it's what they expect.
Yeah, it is. But in looking through barbecue menus like all over the country, I have noticed something different. Mm-hmm. So worse advertising selling by the half pound. I have seen restaurants start selling by the quarter pound.
Oh, fuck that.
Because they see a small price. They see like $8 or something like that. And I didn't want to be that. I just wanted one thing on the menu that says half pound. Here you go. But I can tell you.
I get it. It feels more approachable.
Bubba, yes, everything was weighed. Everything for the pounds were weighed. Worked out real good. I actually found out that when I said the portion spoons worked good, it's because I was pretty much giving a half pound of food away every single time I made a sandwich. Because I'm like, I grabbed some and I put it in the boat and I put it up on the scale. Damn, I'm good. No, I'm not. So.
Oh, Skippy. Yep, the Skippy method always gets brought up every once in a while. Usually towards the end of the night when we're trying to clean up stuff and all the utensils and measured spoons get washed and stuff. We had an order for a sandwich or whatever. It's like, oh, do you want the Skippy? It's like, I got the Skippy method.
Glad I can be the butt of your jokes. Appreciate that.
You are a cornerstone piece of our training.
Caleb, this is what not to do.
Sun just came out over by you, huh?
Yeah. I gotta hold on my shit. No, this is the brisket gods saying. Okay. Fuck, that looks worse, doesn't it?
It looks like you're sitting inside of your smoker.
Oh, it's because the glare is actually on the camera.
Yeah.
Please hold.
Perfect. See?
Yeah. There we go.
These Eat Me cameras are nice. We have about 5 more minutes before we got to wrap this up for our stuff.
What?
E-Meat cameras are pretty nice.
It sounded like you said eat me.
I still have a little bit of a cold.
All in all, good. So big update today. Big update for everybody who's been bitching and complaining at me. I have an interview today with a potential employee. Yeah. Round of applause.
I missed the volume was turned down. Otherwise, you would have had the drum roll when you said I had a big announcement. But
so one of the people that came to the opening was the executive chef of the restaurant that just opened, Atlas, and it's one of her cooks or whatever. And I guess his passion is barbecue. So of course I asked her about him. I said, good employee. Yep. She says his passion is barbecue. I'm not going to stand in his way if he wants to learn. We can play nice. We can share him. So I text him and I said, hey, how about coming in, noon tomorrow at the shop? He's like, yeah, no problem. He said, I said I talked to chef and she says it's okay to share you. He's like, I'm so excited to be the middle filling in the kitchen thruple. So I think I'm already going to like his attitude. And he said, if she didn't warn you, I'm also pursuing stand-up comedy, so I say some outlandish shit. I'm like, oh, you'll fit in just fine. So hopefully we
Hello,
can.
Johnny Appleseed on the TikTok. Well, what's this, Josh?
Johnny Appleseed.
We do a podcast every Monday. Me and Bert Skippy from PB&J's Barbecue on the other side of the state. Welcome, glad you found us. Every Monday. Otherwise, you can find us anywhere if you want to listen to those other episodes from the last 2 years. Anywhere where you can get podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, Google, all the places. So
And he
thanks for finding us.
He props you out in 17 of all the episodes we've done, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
That way he has to go listen to all of them.
That's right.
Anyway, so
no, I don't let him come over to this side of the state. Yes,
yeah, I actually wanted to. I actually wanted to. I was going to come get some sauce from him. We're going to do a live podcast, but he said no, not going to happen.
Are you? Oh, that's right. You were supposed to let me know if you were coming yesterday.
You said you couldn't yesterday.
No, he does not. Typically, does not roll his truck over to the side of the state. It's not a territory thing. I wouldn't mind if he did, but he doesn't like driving that far.
The pay is
Jason, Birdie's Blue Line Barbecue. $1 million question. Where are you both at in sales for January? Is Skippy finally ahead of year to date?
Great question. I'm glad you asked.
I imagine so. He might, because you were running the cafe last year. You might still be behind.
Oh, it didn't start at like January 1st?
Well, it does, but you were in the cafe last January, right?
A little bit.
So yeah, you had more days already open last year than you do this year.
I'm at 67.
$6,700
for January.
Nice work, bud. Let me see where I'm at.
I had a lot of catering.
Let's see where my ginormous this month. Let's see here. Skippy, you are ahead of me. Skippy is off to an early lead. I am at $866 in sales, which puts me, let's go down to sales trends, but we are up over last year. So,
Justin, you cheat. Justin cheated. I'm looking at his sandwich assembly pictures that he was gracious enough to post on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
He cheats because he has a we'll call it a sub bun. So everything gets built on like the top and bottom because it's connected. You cheated.
Jason says he's got you beat so far. Catering for the win. Yep, I'm at 866. We did not have any sales last year until February, so. Woot,
woot.
Woot, woot. Yeah. Oh, that's not true. We did have January sales last year, just not until we did a whole $251 last year. February, though, we did $1,500, so we're going to have some work to do. We're going to need a big Super Bowl order.
Yeah. Did you prop out Super Bowl yet?
We did a post today with a whole bunch of stuff listed in it. But yeah, we already have one order that was placed last week. So yeah, that order went live right after the other one ended.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So yeah, over the next couple of days, we'll hit that hard with promotion and see what we can't get out of the deal. So
we're doing specials every day. We have Wing Wednesday. We have Smoke Burger Thursday. Friday. I can't remember.
Bubba, I was not at the soft opening because I was also working that day. So we had our catering, our client catering client tasting on Saturday, as well as we had pickup orders for pre-order stuff on Saturday. So I was working all day. And Bubba says, do you not collect any deposits? I'm at 8,500. Our deposits don't count towards sales until the event is paid.
Correct.
Because we include it all in the same deposit, or the same invoice. If I were to include my deposits on invoices, I'm probably at like 6,000 or so. For the month.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, that doesn't hit until, because we don't do a separate invoice for a deposit. So, all right. Anyways, that is Justin is at 4303 for January.
Congratulations, Justin.
Good job, everybody. Good job. I'm proud of you all.
I feel
All right,
like
we got to run though.
We have gotten everybody's everybody's sales up just by listening to us.
Probably, yeah. You know, you listen to us, sales increase because you're thinking less.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everybody, we got to go. Skippy and I have got some things to take care of this morning, so we're going to cut you 9 minutes short, which, we've gone over 20 minutes enough times that it all evens out. So thank you all for listening. I think we'll be 9 o'clock next week. I'm heading to the UP tomorrow, so for the week. But I think we're coming back Sunday, so we should be all set for Monday. Everybody have a good week. Keep selling, keep booking for the week, and we will talk to you next weekend, everybody, or next Monday. Woot woot. Thank you. Bye.